Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir.
Oh,
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, I welcome you all to this guest lecture on preparation strategies for competitive exams. Uh, I'm extremely, I feel delighted to introduce the speaker of the session, Mr. Gaurav Chandra Bridani, a PhD scholar from IIT Madras. So I'd like to give introduction about our speaker, Mr. Gaurav, here. So Mr. Gaurav had completed his undergraduate in civil engineering from College of Technology, Pantnagar in the year 2016. In the same year, Mr. Gaurav had cleared GATE 2016 exam with a GATE score of 728 out of 1000 with All India rank 325. And with the above GATE score, Mr. Gaurav had joined in the IIT Madras to pursue his master's degree in the structural engineering. Um, so after completing his master's degree in the year 2018 from IIT Madras, Sir had continued to pursue his doctoral degree from same IIT Madras in the structural division. And sir, Mr. Gaurav's research interests are mechanics of deformal bodies, nonlinear mechanics, infinite element method, and messless methods and constitutive modeling. And so now his doctoral degree is focusing on developing a novel numerical techniques for solving fracture boundary value problems in mechanics using basis function for implicit constitutive material models. And Sir also the recipient of Prime Minister Research Fellowship Scholar. So with this introduction, I welcome our speaker to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you for a informative and very nice introduction. Uh, Hello, fellow students. I hope I'm audible to you all, and this is we have a I have a very long connection with SVCE, so I am doing these kinds of classes or lectures, whatever you call, since 2021. So I feel good and I want to be connected because like it was the first kind of interaction after joining here in PhD, and also I had a year experience of teaching in college, so I felt good to be in connected with these students, and always try to be supportive in whatever manner we can. So this time I brought this topic that because you guys, those who are in third year or final year, especially final year, and if third year people are interested more for the technical jobs, then for them also it is very important to start a strategy or preparation before and find out which way you want to go, and then you can plan accordingly, because finding out is more important, so that you can plan it properly and you can get success is more important here. So for that, because every year you try to prepare through various coachings and other things, and that takes time. So keeping in mind, if someone starts it before the third year, final year, it will be better for him. So I'll tell my story also at the end, like how I did. So let's first look into the things like what is there in the market and what we can do. So this is my personal bio. That's fine. So what is there after BTech, first of all? So there are either two options. One is the college placement, which happens mostly, and the other is to prepare yourself for the competitive exams. So I'm talking here about only competitive exams related to engineering. I'm not talking about any non-core or non-technical competitive exams like maybe SSC or maybe other exams like civil services or something else, because I had a touch with these exams. I knew about them. I appeared in some of them, so I know about them more. So in this, means all engineers, especially from civil engineers, have these three options. So we have GATE is one of the options. Second is engineering services exams. You would have known or might have heard about it. It is conducted by UPSC, Union Service Public Commission. And the third is the state level exams. So there are certain state level exams conducted uh, for the recruitment of engineering positions like assistant engineer or somewhere assistant executive engineer, like that. So so in this presentation, on this lecture, I'll mostly talk about the gate, more emphasis on gate, because that was the exam I gave, and for that I prepared and had a strategy how to like go for it. So EAC and state level I will touch little bit, okay. But if students from final year or third year wants, I can give another presentation on that, because the strategy, I will say, for all these three exams, gate, EAC and state level, is different. So you have to have different mindset to while appearing for them. So that is more important. So people think that, okay, if I prepare for one, I can easily crack the other two. So okay, you can do, but for that you need to be extraordinary, in the sense that it is like switching gears in a motorcycle. So if a motorcycle or a biker is is racing on a road, so if he is racing, or if his opponent is a cyclist, so he couldn't win the race with first or second gear. Okay, this is an analogy I'm trying to give. What is the difference? So between the three. So if a biker is want to win against a cyclist, he can win on first or even second gear. So no problem. Okay. Similarly, if the same biker wants to win against a car, then he has to change his gear. He can't win on first and second. Maybe he has to be on the topmost gear. Then he can even come close to winning. Maybe he may not also win, but the gear need to be upgraded. And the same biker, if he tries using the same bike to win against a aeroplane, it's very difficult. Even if the aeroplane is if it's running on the runway, it is very difficult to win against, because the speed of the aeroplane will be much higher than the bike. So that means you have to then change even the vehicle itself. Means this way, the medium through which you are trying to travel, or the medium through which you are trying to prepare for the exam. So that's kind of an analogy I'm trying to put it here, that why they are different, because you have to change gear, you have to switch gears, and then you will be able to succeed in a way that it will be fruitful for you. Okay. So most I will talk about in this lecture about the gate, and little bit I'll talk about state and ESC also. So as I told, what is the difference? I gave you an analogy of the bike situation. Now, if I talk about exam specific analogy, so it is like the gate exam is like more intuitive. So what I mean intuitive here is that it will ask those questions which are not more repetitive. Okay, and those questions will be not based on memory. It's not like if you have read something, if you remember something, you can do it. No. So mostly they won't be on memory, and secondly they won't be also on something like direct formula based. They won't be in gate examination. The questions will be more intuitive, that they want to find whether you have understood the topic or not. So remember that they will be more intuitive, less repetitive. You will find questions which have been repeated, but those questions will be kind very general questions. They are type of repetitive questions only. But the gate exam also accompanies some questions which are very intuitive. You have to have your thoughts or your concepts very clear, and it is not like in a particular subject. If I say, in the sense, if I say in structural analysis, or if I say in geotechnical engineering, it could be in any way, in any of these subjects, because the gate paper is mostly prepared by professors in IITs or ISC Bangalore. So those professors don't expect you to just have a formula based questions, so you can put the values and you get the answer. No. So they'll be intuitive, in the sense that more than one concepts could be used to solve the problem. It's not like you can just use one concept to solve it. You may need to one or two concepts merging together, and then you have to solve it. So that is there. Secondly, coming to EAC examination, that is engineering services. So I would say it is somewhere in between. It is a balanced kind of thing. So it is little intuitive and little repetitive also. Okay. So you will have some of the questions which will be intuitive. And in engineering services, as there are two stages. So first stage is the stage of prelims. and then is the stage of subjectives, mains, which is called. So prelims having two examinations, okay, and the main exam is a subjective, so it is a pen and paper exam. So I am talking here about prelims first of all for ESE only. So it in prelims also it will be little intuitive and little repetitive. If I go for mains of the engineering services exam, so I would say in mains it is more on the uh, like repetitive side. More on the repetitive means the questions asked from the will be from the mostly from the same concepts. Okay, so intuitiveness will be there but not that much. Okay, so that is there in the engineering services. And the state PWD exams which are there, so PWD here means the public works department. So what I told that the state government also recruit for engineering positions like assistant engineer or assistant executive engineer, and even some of the other organizations even like IIT also recruit for assistant engineer and all. So these could be less intuitive but more repetitive. So question could be very those questions could come there or been asked, like those have been already asked in some of the examinations like in the gate or engineering services. So or even in other state PWDs examinations. So those questions which was asked in other states, so suppose Tamil Nadu I would talk about. So Tamil Nadu board examination could ask questions from, suppose from Delhi PWD exams questions also. If they had some questions, though it can come here also, or maybe from Rajasthan. So like that. So that's what I meant by less intuitive, so but more repetitive or more formula based, I will say. So if you know the thing, if you know the value, if you know the formula, you can easily solve it in state PWD. Okay, so this, as I told, this presentation will be more based on gate, because that the exam I appeared. I will give a little bit more detail about the EAC and state in the last. Okay, so in gate, as you know, so there are I think 25 or 27 subjects are there now, including civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, computer science. Those are the subjects. So those are the subjects in which gate examination happens, and it happens each year. So the exam is in January or February each year, and mostly it is held on Saturday and Sunday, and could be in two sessions also, morning session and evening session. Why there is session? Because of the number of more no more number of students. So in civil engineering, in computer science, in mechanical, in electrical, mostly they have exams in more than one session, means morning session and evening session, and even on both days, and Saturday as well as Sunday. As far as I remember, for my case, that was the thing. So that could be. So basically it depends on the number of students appeared. And so by if I give you a rough idea, so each year around 10 lakh students appear for engineering examinations, which is your JE mains. Okay, each year 10 lakh student. That is like roughly I'm saying. Maybe the data might have reduced because of the interest of students in other areas of humanities and all, but I'm giving a rough idea. So if you consider instead of 10, 8 lakhs, so out of 8 lakhs, around 1 to 1.5 lakhs students every year appear for gate examination only for civil background. Okay, I'm talking about only civil background. So only for civil background, between 1 to 1.5 lakh students every year appear for civil backgrounds. That is why the exam is done in more than one session. But the paper for the two sessions will be different. Okay, don't think the paper will be same. Even this one IIT only will prepare, but it will prepare two different papers. And obviously, because the different papers are there, there could be a difference in the level of difficulty. Okay, so it could happen that the Saturday first half morning session paper was more tough, and the Sunday's evening session paper was less tough. So the paper which will be tough, the students move, if I go a general thumb rule, so less marks will be obtained because that paper was tough. And similarly, if the paper will be easy, more marks can be achieved in that session. But don't worry, if you think that okay, I got less marks in the tough paper, so there is a balancing. So what they do, they balance between the two papers based on their difficulty level, and difficulty level is defined by how much was the highest mark scored in that paper and how much was the lowest mark scored. So there is a formula which gives that equivalence between the two papers, and that formula is given in the brochure of the gate examination. So in the brochure the formula will be written, and based on that formula the leveling is done for difficulty and less difficulty levels. So that is not a worry. Now the other is the exam notification. So it comes mostly in the September and or October previous years. So suppose for this year 2023, the notification will come in September October 2023, and the exam will happen for basically for 2024. Exam will happen in the uh, January or February 2024. Okay, gate 2023 is already done. So gate 2023 notification came in September October 2022, and the exam happened in January February 2023, and even results are out, and now the recruitment or the counseling for the MTech position in MTech in IITs or MTech in NITs is going on. Okay, then the result will be published in the March April. Okay, so after 1 or 1.5 month after the exam, and because the gate exam is a computer based exam, it is totally paperless, so it won't take much of the time for the publication of the result. So this is not an OMR based exam, it is a computer based exam. Okay, the duration of the exam will be 3 hours. Okay, it will be 3 hours exam, and we'll see what are other details like how many questions and all. So you will have basically in civil engineering uh, three you can say uh, partitions of the subjects. Okay, the subject will be divided into three parts. So one will be the general aptitude, as you can see. One will be general aptitude, other will be engineering mathematics, and third will be civil engineering. So civil engineering subjects. Civil engineering subjects means your mechanics. Okay, then your RCC. So in mechanics you can say solid mechanics and structural analysis. RCC, there will be concrete design, then your steel structures. Okay, then you have environmental engineering, then you have geometric engineering, that is your surveying, geometric engineering. Then you have water resource engineering, and in water resource engineering you can have fluid mechanics also, and as well as your irrigation engineering. And then you can have geotechnical engineering. So geotechnical engineering will have both parts, that is solid soil mechanics and the maybe little bit foundation engineering. And then the comes the transportation engineering. Okay, so transportation engineering mostly on highway, a little bit maybe on railway or harbor port, like mostly on highways. Okay, and then in water resource you can have more on hydrology also, that part also engineering hydrology, that can also be included. Okay, so you will have general aptitude. So general aptitude will consider only general aptitude questions and general English. Okay, general aptitude plus general English both. So there will be total 10 questions, and the marks will be uh, 15. So this 10 questions will be 1 marks as well as 2 marks. Okay, so some questions will be 1 marks questions, some questions will be 2 marks, and general aptitude will consist general English and general aptitude normal. Okay, then engineering mathematics is purely on mathematics, so it will have 10 questions with 13 marks allotted, and the rest of 72 marks will be on civil engineering subjects. As I told you what all subjects are, there will be all in all 45 questions. Okay, in civil engineering. Okay, these 45 questions will include both 1 marks as well as 2 marks, and there will be total 65 questions, and you will have total 100 marks, and the total allotted time will be 180 minutes, that is 3 hours. Okay, now here I gave an analysis of like past 5 years or 4 or 5 years. So you can see that from 2021 to 17, I'm going backwards here. So you can see that which all topics are being included. So suppose I am giving a topic wise. So here this irrigation and hydrology is there. Then
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Sir, your slides, I mean, it's not changing. It's in
Oh,
the.
okay, 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 okay.
Now it's fine, sir.
Okay, now it's fine. Okay, what I will do. Now it's fine, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it's fine, sir.
Okay, okay. So, if we see regarding the topic wise, what is the distribution of the marks each year? You can see in irrigation, fluid mechanics, environmental, structure analysis, geotechnical, transportation. So what I have done, I have shown you here how this is percentage. Okay, so don't think this is number of marks. This is percentage. So 4 means 4% out of 100. That is, out of 100, 4 marks was asked from irrigation and hydrology in 2021. Like that, 5.5 marks was asked in this year, and like that, like that. Okay, so don't think that this is marks. This is percentage. Okay, total. So you can see that the average and how it is varying. So sometimes there will be some jumps. So if you see in irrigation, so for last 5 years, and why I'm doing 2017 onwards, that there was a change in 2016 syllabus. The year I appeared in examination, gate examination, there was a change in the syllabus. So because of that only I am going forward, because there is no point of going backwards before 2016, because that will be unnecessary, because there were some topics which were not there, like geometric engineering, that was not there. Also engineering mechanics was not asked, usually not asked before there, so it came in 2016 itself. Okay, so that's why I'm doing a forward analysis. So you can see that in irrigation, if you see, so the percentage is always almost remaining the same. Okay, you can see that it's remaining, means around 4 to 5.56%. Okay, and average is this. Similarly, if you look at fluid mechanics, it remains between 7 to 9%, an average of 8.1%. Similarly, if you see environmental engineering, it remains between 9 to 11% with an average of 10.4. And similarly, you see structural analysis. So you see a value here. It has drastically changed to 1.5%. So in 2018, somewhere else it was asked more compared to here. Means, so you see that structural analysis was asked less. It was asked only 1.5%. That means that remaining of 3 to 4% was given to some other topic, not to structural engineering, structural analysis, but to other topic. So this happens sometime, but not with all the subjects. I would say, if you look at it, won't happen with all the subjects, even with geotechnical engineering. So I would say you can have your bet with very good bet that it won't change much is with geotechnical engineering. It won't change much. Transportation engineering, it won't change much. As well as the environmental engineering, it will also won't change much. Sometimes structural analysis changes a lot. So you can see how structural analysis changed in 2018, but after that now it is remaining same. So why it happens, if you ask me, why this is happening, why it is changing? So this happens also because of because every year a different IIT prepares a paper. So gate paper is done every year by a different IIT. So that's why it happens, and that also breaks the monotony of the exam. Okay, so but I would say your best bets will be with fluid mechanics or environmental engineering, geotechnical and transportation. They won't change much. Similarly, if we look on the other one, so other subjects like geometric engineering. So as I told you, see how much it was asked, 14.5% in 2020. So they suddenly increased the percentage of questions in 2020 on the geometric engineering. And earlier it was not asked that much. You see, 14.5% of 100 is like 14 marks. It is too much. 14 marks can make a lot of difference. So 14 marks was asked. Then suddenly it came again to 5%, the normal level. So you can see that. So certain sometime it gets changed, sometime it remains same. So if you see the RCC, it almost remains between 5 to 7%. Steel structure. So here you saw that 2% only, then suddenly to 5% in 2019, then around 2%. Okay, then construction technique remains almost between 1 to 2%. Engineering mechanics, so see, as I told, it was not asked at all in 2020 one. You see, engineering mechanics, but it was asked earlier. And then solid mechanics, so it also was asked very less in 2021, but asked very highly in 2018. So that is my point, is that you have to have some subjects will be there in which this jumps won't be there, much jumps won't be there. Those subjects are like your uh, you can say geotechnical engineering, transportation engineering, environmental engineering more, I will say, and the RCC. There won't be more jumps in that. rest will be jumped. So that's what. So you have to have, you can't think before exam that only this subject will come more and all. Usually people will have this thought that okay, structures will come a lot. So it varies, because what they will do, they will reduce the marks in the other part of the here structure analysis. Sometimes they will reduce the marks in structure analysis, but then they will increase the marks in the steel structures, okay, or in the engineering mechanics or in the solid mechanics, that they do. So this all comes under the purview of structures. So that's what I want to try to say here, that think of this like that, and don't fixate it on something, have a clear idea, okay. Then coming to the questions. So as I told, there will be in total 25 questions. So this is I'm telling apart from general aptitude. So I told you there are three parts: general analysis, general aptitude, engineering mathematics, and core civil. So if I remove the general aptitude, that is having 10 questions, remaining engineering mathematics and civil core are having 30 plus 25, 45, 55 questions. Out of that, 45 are on the civil, and 10 are on the engineering mathematics. And total 25 questions are asked of 1 marks, and 30 questions are asked of 2 marks. Okay, and also there is a negative marking. So remember that there is a negative marking. So you have like, there are three types of questions. You will have multiple choice questions, which will have multiple choices. Then you will have multiple select questions. You have to select multiple options, that will be there. And then you have a numerical type questions, NAT. So numerical type question means you have to insert a numerical value by the keyboard. By using your keyboard, you have to insert the value of the, suppose in some question, the in the truss bridge, suppose there is a truss and they have asked the force in a particular member. So suppose the actual answer of the question is 15.92 kilonewton, that is the answer. So they expect you to write the value between 15.9 to 15.94, like that. So very less, they won't give much of the range, you have to be within that range, okay. So generally they will mention in the question itself how many decimal places, in how many decimal places they are expecting. So mostly they will ask in 2 decimal places, or max to max 3 decimal places, okay. So accordingly they fix the range, okay. They won't tell you the range a priori, but the range is not that much. It will be between 0.05 to like 0.1 or 0.2, like that. That could be the range, okay. So that is the trick with the numerical answer type, okay. But the good thing is, in numerical answer type questions, you don't have the negative marking, and also in multiple select questions you don't have the negative marking. You have negative marking NCQ, and 1 marks question have a negative marking of 1/3, okay, 0.33, and 2 marks question have negative marking, NCQ have negative marking of 2/3, that is 0.67. So if you do a mistake in 1 mark question, it will cost you less, okay. But if you do a mistake in 2 mark question, it will cost you more, okay. So that you have to be clear. And then so as I told, in general aptitude, you will have 5 questions of 1 marks and 5 questions of 2 marks. So there will be mixed of aptitude plus English. They will also ask English little bit, okay. And then coming to the subject, so the total this distribution is like 15% for general aptitude, 13% for mathematics, and 72% for core discipline, okay. Then coming to the exam which I told you, the core exam. So for core exam, as I told, you will have overall 55, that is 45 from core plus 10 from engineering mathematics, and 25 will be 1 marks, and 30 will be 2 marks. So basically 80 marks, 85 marks will be here. Then if you come to, yeah, jobs. So suppose you have given the exam, and now what all are there for you through gate. So as you know, there are many PSUs which are recruiting through gate, okay. So uh, in civil, I will say power grid is there, one of the PSU. Then in civil, even ONGC also takes, IOC will also take civil. NBCC is fully for civil, National Building Construction Company. Then some state PSUs are also there. Then NHPC also takes some of the engineering, civil engineering uh, engineers. Then we have IRCON also there. Then there are some others like uh, for highways there is this NHPC is there, NHPC for the hydro project, and there is some other PSUs for highways. They also recruit through gate examinations. Okay. Then other some state PSUs which are there, but they are state specific, so they are not sent all over India kind of. So they are state specific. From Himachal, there are certain which work on dams there, so they are there. Then some are there in the West Bengal. So what they do basically, they take the gate score. Okay, the gate score which you get out of 1,000, they take that as the measure to qualify. First, they qualify you, and then if there is an interview, they call you for the interview, and then they select you. And if there is no interview, then they directly qualify you. So some PSUs are there, like Airport Authority of India is there, so it takes directly from the gate score. It doesn't take any interview. So if you have performed well in your gate, you can get directly a job. Okay. Similarly, you have DRDO also. They also take through gate. They ask for gate score, and the BARC also in government of India. So these two organizations they take from the gate. Then coming to the requirement. So ranking, what is the ranking requirement of gate score requirement? See, I will say that if you are focusing for a PSU job, qualifier, if I'm saying just to qualify, means you get an invitation, okay, from the for the interview from the PSU. So your rank should be between 1 to 350. Okay. Then or your score should be above 790 or 800. Then you get a call from the PSU job for the interview itself, I'm saying. So if you do very good in interview, then you are selected. And obviously if you have a better rank, that will add up to your score. Okay. Then for DRDO or BARC, if you see, so you need a rank between 1 to 250 and a gate score above to 850, because it is more competitive there. So you need a gate score above to 850 there. Okay. Then if somebody wants to join IIT for masters MTech, so for MTech you have to have a rank between 1 to 500. One disclaimer is there. All this thing I'm telling for the general category, okay, unreserved category. Okay. So for other category students it may vary. Okay. So I'm telling only the general category which I have known through, that only I'm projecting here. I'm not telling about other categories. I'm telling for general category. So please consider this for general category. So general category only I'm writing these ranks range and gate score range. Okay. So if you want to pursue MTech, so you can get a I would say a old IIT with a rank between 1 to 500. Yeah, but if you want a specific subject, so if suppose someone wants a geotechnical engineering, and then from some specific IIT, suppose somebody wants geotechnical engineering from IIT Madras. So yeah, you can get that within 1 to 500 rank, but it again matters like how much uh, people are interested. Okay, but in general you get, okay, in general you get between 1 to 500, and even sometime you get till 700. So it all depends how many people appeared and how many people are going for jobs and through gate, and then how many people are staying back for the MTech. Okay, it depends on that. Okay. Now what you can have that. So if I say for structure, so mostly in civil engineering, structures are is filled first in any IIT. I would say structural engineering is filled first. So for structural, I will say you would need a rank between 1 to 300 if you in IIT, in especially in old IITs, if you want with HTRA. So what is HTRA? HTRA is half time teaching assistantship. That means the government will be providing you a monthly teaching assistantship for the work you will be doing to your department where you are joining. So you will be assigned some teaching assistant work, and you will be doing that work. And in leverage of that work, government will be funding you for 2 years of period, or till you give your viva voce of the your project of your MTech project, and that is given at a rate of right now at 12,400 per month. Okay, that is given there. So If you want I would say structural engineering in old IITs. So old IITs means IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Delhi. Okay, so these are old IITs. So in old IITs, you would need a rank between 1 to 300 or 350 for structural engineering with HTRA. So there are certain positions or certain seats available for non-HTRA where you are not paid monthly, but you are studying in IIT, but you are not paid monthly assistantship. So those seats are also available. So because they are second in demand, because first in demand is the HTRA seats, so they in that you can get between 350 or 400 to uh, 700 rank or 600 or 700 again in the general category I'm saying. Okay, but that also depends on how many seats are there for that NHTRA without a scholarship. Okay, then in NIT, so IIT, first of all, MTech admission for IIT, each IIT is a different procedure. Okay, so it is not like a centralized thing. It is handled by each IIT itself, mostly. Okay, and for NIT, there is a central process. Okay, so I think it is called CCP or CEP, something is there. So that is a centralized procedure for post graduation admission. So NIT is handled by that, and in that you can get an admission in your structures, or you say your favorite this thing between 500 to 1000 rank. Okay, with a score of above 550. Okay, now, some of you will ask, actually, I forgot to mention here. Some of you will ask, like, what is the qualification or qualifier in GATE? So, there is something called uh, qualification marks, because it is not like everybody who appears in GATE will get qualified. There is a certain average marks, a minimum marks, which you need to score to call yourself that I have qualified GATE. It is not like that all who appear for GATE are qualified. No, it's not like that. So, there is an average or a minimum marks which is there. Above that only you are above, called qualified. Below that you are not called qualified, and even below that you won't get any gate score and you won't get any rank. Above that only you get a score and rank. So that qualifying marks in gate for civil engineering specifically varies between 25 to 30 marks out of 100. It varies between 25 to 30 marks. Okay, so if you have scored above 25 to 30, it remains somewhere between. So somewhere 25.7 or 27.6, like that. So if you are have scored above that, then only you are called as gate qualified, and then only you can appear for any of this. Okay, or even for MTech and NITs or any other place. Okay, so that marks is for unreserved category. Gate civil engineering course is 25.6 or 25.7. It mostly ranges between 25 to 30. It rarely goes up above 30, and mostly ranges between 25 to 30. Okay, for other categories like STSC or other categories, it will be lesser than this. Okay, maybe 21 for some category, or this uh, uh, some other categories will have different values, but will be lesser than this. Okay, so this I told about gate. So as you know that in gate you have to have intuitiveness. Why I told the question paper is mostly prepared by the professors in IITs and ISC, and because of that the gate paper become tough every year. It remains tough. Okay, so and even if it is not tough, because I told there are more than two sessions, so even if it is not remain tough in one session, it will be tough in the other session. So then there is a normalization happens between the two. They normalize it with the 100 marks, so that the level of toughness doesn't affect your marks or affect your rank. Okay, so that is there. Now coming to the strategy, so what I would say, better is you go through your concepts properly. So concepts from all your five sub branches. So there are five sub branches in civil, which is structures, then you have geotechnical, transportation, you have construction management, and water resource and environment. So you should have a very means whatever you are reading or whatever you are preparing, you should prepare it from authentic source first of all, and you should have your concepts clear, because most of the questions are asked on basics concepts. If your basic concepts are clear, then you are able to solve those questions. Okay, because sometimes it feels like, okay, this is very easy question, but there will be some twist in that. Okay, so that is very important, first of all. Second is, what is my opinion would be, you always have some notes ready with you. So while reading or while studying, you prepare some notes, because those notes will be very beneficial to you at the time of examination, 1 or 2 or 1 week before the examination, because at that time you can't go through all the books. So it will be best to have notes at that time, and you can go through your notes which you have prepared. Especially I'm saying for third year, and also for those years, those final year students who are trying for gate for the next year. If you're trying for the gate for next year, you have ample amount of time. Okay, so you can prepare your own notes, and I'm saying for all subjects you can prepare. You don't need to copy the whole book on a notebook. No, you have to write very very important points only from all the topics. Okay, and later on also we can have another session specifically on structural engineering or structural analysis and steel structures and all other allied of the structures, which in from which topic which questions are asked. There are certain topics from which questions are asked almost every time, but in a different sense. Every time it will be asked, but in a different sense. Okay, so that is there. And so you have to be very thorough to your concepts. Okay, you don't need to mug up anything, remember. No, you have to be thorough with your concepts. Okay, and the questions will be more descriptive here. So you will be given in the examination center some paper and pen you will be having. So you have to even write properly your equations and formula, and do some integration, and then to solve it. So for that purpose, calculator is given. So calculator will be given virtually in the computer itself. It will be a scientific calculator. So that will be given in the computer itself at the examination center. You are not allowed to take your handheld calculator which you use in your classroom. You can't take that calculator. They are not allowed. So you can only use the virtual calculator available on the computer there. Okay, so now what happens, many people, many students find very difficult to navigate to that calculator, means using. So because you can't sometime type, because we don't have a habit of typing in the keyboard or using the mouse to click the calculator. So to do that, so in that time is spent, because time is also very important. You have to finish your paper properly, and you should be able to attempt all the questions at least. Because if you are not able to attempt question, you may regret after the exam that, oh, you knew some question but you can't attempt it because of the lack of time. So most important is that you should practice. You should have a practice of the scenario of the exam. And to do that practice, what I have found through my experience best is to join any online exam series by, it is given by various coachings. You should join those series very positively and try to appear them with your full preparation. You assume that you are giving the gate exam today and appear in those online test series. Okay, those test series will be very beneficial. I'm telling you, because then you will have an idea how you are performing, how you're performing the 3 hours, where you're getting stuck. Okay, you will get to know your positives, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Okay, so which concepts are not clear, you will understand that time when you will go through these series. So I will say you register at least one test series from anywhere. Okay, there are certain good uh, uh, coaching institutes which are offering these test series. I hope you all know. So if you would need that, I will tell you also that. But I hope you know that, because you all are very aware nowadays. So things are available online. So you go through, you buy that test series. It won't cost you much. It will be within 1,000 or 1,500, but it will be very beneficial. Will be very beneficial. You will see that effect when you will be appearing in the actual exam in the gate, because then you will be very fast. You won't be surprising where is the calculator, what and all, because they, in those test series, they try to simulate the gate pattern. What is shown in the screen of the gate exam, they try to simulate that. So that's why I'm focusing or emphasizing here to buy those series. They will be helpful. Okay, then coming to the subject wise, So as I told, there will be conceptual questions asked, and to have that, you have to be clear with the concepts. You can't rely that you know the formula, you can put and you can get the answer, because that's how it won't work. So for that what type of concepts are asked, best is to go through previous year question papers. So even you don't need to buy any book, because if you know the concepts good, or you have your textbooks or reference books from your btech with you, then it is good. Then you don't need to worry, because you can get the solutions from there. Otherwise, if you are feeling that I can't get the solution, I want to know also the solution, proper solution, then you can get it from any publisher which is publishing last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years gate questions. So they will give us solved 10 years, 20 years, 30 years gate questions. And with the questions, they will give the solution. So those questions, first you try to see what kind of concepts they are asking. Okay. So if I give you a small example, so in RCC, you have read the reinforced concrete, no? RCC. So in RCC, I have seen it through my experience. Mostly they will ask a question which is based on the stress block for concrete in compression. So if you remember, there is a stress block of concrete which is there in Professor Devdas Menon books also, and in other books also, and also you can see the IS code 456 also. You will find that the stress block is given there. Now, how the force in that splash block comes, I'm not sure whether you guys remember right now or no. So, but the total compressive force of that stress block comes around value of 0.362 into SU into B into XU. Okay, and that's how you find the neutral axis depth. So you compare you actually do a equilibrium of the compressive and the tensile force and the reinforcement. So the compressive force in the concrete is 0.362 SU into B into XU, where B is the width of the cross section of the beam, XU is the neutral axis depth, FU is the or FCK you could call FCK. So FCK is your compressive strength at the 28 days, and is equals to 0.87 Fy into AST. Fy is the yield strength of the reinforcing bar, and AST is the area of the tension reinforcement. So from that formula, 0.362 FCK into B into XU, I have seen many times, at least 5 to 6 times, and like with each year, like 2012, 2013, 14, like that, I have seen that question comes. What they do, they will change something. They will say that suppose this rectangular portion is actually the resultant of that force acts at a point which is at certain level from the top fiber. So what they will do, they will change those values. They will little bit change those values, and the answer will change. But you will think that nothing has changed and it is same as 0.362. So what they can ask in this numerical type, so they will write that they will keep a blank at first, and they will write FCK into B into XU, and they will ask you to fill that value at which you was having earlier a value of 0.362. But now the value will change because they have changed some parameter. Because of the stress block shape has changed, the value of 0.362 will change. It will be something 0.338 or maybe 0.414. It could be anything. So that's how they test the basics, because if you don't know the basics, how the stress block is developed, how the stress block is made, what are where is the parabolic part, where is the rectangular part, so that if you don't know that, then you can't do that calculation and you will not be able to solve it. And mind you, these questions which are little bit cumbersome, like you have to write on paper and all, these questions will be asked in 2 marks, so there are more you can say scoring respect to the 1 mark question. So 2 marks questions are more scoring, and even in the numerical answer type question, there is no negative marking. So even if our answer was wrong, it was suppose away from the range of the answer, you won't be there won't be any deduction in marks, because there is no negative marking in that. So you have to be very clever. Okay, so if you know that in MCQ 2 marks you are not sure, suppose you are not sure in some question, you are having a highly doubtful that you are not sure, or you don't know at all a question in a 2 marks MCQ. So as I told you, MCQ has a negative marking in the gate exam, and it is like 2 by 3. It is twice as 1 marks. So it is 0.67. So instead of attempting that, you can attempt a multiple select question which doesn't have any a negative mark if you get it wrong also. Or you can select the use a numerical answer type, because doing a MCQ question of 2 marks wrong will hurt you. It will reduce 0.67 marks. So that is why I'll tell you that have a strategy and accept that what you know and what you don't know. So if you don't know also, don't worry, there will be more questions which you know, so try to solve them and have a fair amount of idea while solving that this question is having a negative marking and this question is not having. Okay, you should have that fair amount of idea, because if you are able to save your negative markings, you will be able to have a good rank. Because suppose you did very well and you did many questions and you did more of the questions good also, you scored them well, but what happened, you did many negatives also. So because of the negative marking, you will lose marks, it will reduce your marks. So it is very important in gate, you have to watch for which question is for how many marks and which question is having negative marks and which is not. Okay, based on that you can put a guess. So you can't guess in a MCQ question which is having negative marks, but you can guess in a multiple select question or in a numerical answer type question, because that doesn't contain a negative mark. So you can be near the value, and if you are near the value you will get a marks. Okay, so that and preparation of a notes is very important. So if you prepare your notes subject wise, it will be very beneficial to you. And notes means very important things, very important concepts. Okay, and try to understand the concept, don't learn anything. Okay, try to understand it. If you are not able to go through some NPTEL videos, so there are NPTEL lectures available online, they are free of cost, anybody can access any lecture at any time. Okay, you can go there and understand how it happened. Even you can ask in your college also, even you can help, can take help, my help also in that. Okay, but always try to understand the concept. It is not about structures, not for geotech, anything. Okay, so and even there, see, so if I tell you with the structures and with geotech, the strategy to those conceptual question is little bit different, because there is lot more of understanding there. Okay, lot more of understanding is there. But similarly in environmental engineering, the way is different. So environmental engineering, you have to learn thing properly. Okay, so like BOD calculation, COD calculation, this question is asked every year. Every year in environmental engineering, this question is asked about BOD and COD, these values. They will ask every time. So there are some pet questions. I told it is less repetitive gate, but somewhere it is also repetitive, but it is less repetitive. Okay, so that will be the strategy for the gate exam. So coming to engineering services, so as I told, the strategy will be little different. So what you need in engineering services is that, again, for any exam you have to go through the previous year question paper. So if you go through the previous year question paper, you will understand that there are not the questions which those who are like too much lengthy to solve are not included in engineering services. Gate exams questions are very lengthy because only 65 questions are there. So if you leave the general English part, that is 10 questions, so 55 questions at least are little bit lengthy. Even sometimes engineering mathematics questions are also lengthy sometimes. Okay, so you should in, but in engineering services questions are not lengthy. I will say 95% questions are not lengthy. They are normal questions, maybe formula type, maybe little bit intuitive. Okay, little bit intuitive, or maybe fact type. Okay, so in engineering services, fact based questions are also asked, and those facts are not like you can just have a look on the chapter and you will understand. No, sometimes they have deeper, they have deep. But there are certain questions in engineering services which are repeated in from the gate. Okay, I have not seen any question in engineering services which has been means in gate exams which has been taken from engineering services, that I have never seen. Okay, but in engineering services I have seen questions are being taken from the gate. Okay, gate questions are repeated there, sometime it happens, but otherwise it doesn't happen, because the gate paper is prepared by the professors IIT, so they make it in a very different way, new manner. Okay, because they want those students which can think on themselves, which can comprehend the concepts. Okay, that is why, because they are actually, the gate is being conducted for the positions or seats in the IIT for MTech. Okay, that is the main reason. Second is that the good amount of questions are repeated from previous years also in engineering services. So engineering services exam, questions are repeated from last year or last 5 or 10 years. Okay, so there was a change in syllabus in I think 2016 or 17 in engineering services. Little bit change was there. So from onwards there, 2017 onwards, you can go through that questions and you get a question bank, and even you can get an older question bank also, but you can go through that question bank and prepare for that. But for engineering services, you need more consistency, you need more speed and higher accuracy. Okay, so in engineering also, engineering services also, you have around 200 question in one exam, around 200 question in one exam, and you have to be have very high accuracy. Okay, so it is like 3 marks each question, and if you do a negative, 1 marks will be deducted in engineering services. Okay, so one third is the uh, is the negative marking, but all questions are of same marks. Okay, all questions are of same marks. There is no 1 2, all are of same marks. Okay, in there, but the accuracy matters with the speed. Accuracy means your answers, you're marking correct answers with fast, because time is very less there. And then formula based questions are also asked very frequently. So if you know the formulas, they will be asked. So again, if you have done you have made some notes for yourself for gate or say engineering services, that will help you in the revision before the exam. Okay, so that is very much important there. Then coming to the state PWD exam. So as I told, that state PWD exam will be more repetitive and there will be less intuitive. So there will be repetitive questions will be there in this exam from engineering services exam and gate exam. So you can do what? You can buy last 20 years questions of gate, last 20 years questions of engineering services, and try to solve them. Try, try to solve them without looking at the answer. You solve them. First prepare yourself and then solve. Okay, and check how much you are doing correctly, where are you are doing wrong, and what questions are being done wrong. Okay, which area you need more improvement, those things you try. Okay, and then you make a effort ki how I did. Okay, you try to evaluate yourself. Okay, also you can do what, suppose if I talk about Tamil Nadu state, so in Tamil Nadu previous years questions like last 10 years PWD exam questions you can get. Okay, those questions you can get, and you try to prepare that. All also you can buy a question bank. In civil engineering, question banks are available. So from good publishers you can buy question banks, and those question banks like 3000 plus question or something like that, and it will have questions from all domains: structure, geotech, environment, transportation, everything. And you try to practice those questions, because once you practice this question you will understand, okay, what kind of questions are being asked. So mostly if I say if you are able to do around 3000 or some 3000 plus questions, I'm pretty sure in PWD state PWD exams you will at least see some questions which will be repeated. Means questions will be there which you have already solved while your preparation. And and like I'll tell you, this only makes you a better candidate for selection, because if you know that question already, don't get I will say, don't have this overconfidence. Oh, I have already done, now no need. No, 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 no overconfidence. In sometime I've seen in overconfidence you even won't read the question and just to take the answer. Don't do that. Read the question properly, then think whether you have solved it, whether you have seen it before, whether you have solved it somewhere, and if you have, if you remember, then you have the answer. Even you don't need to think about what the question is asking. If you know that, you have already solved the question. So preparation strategy for state PWD will be best to solve last 20 years 30 years engineering services questions, last 20 years 30 years gate questions, with subject wise. Means structure analysis subject wise, steel structure subject wise, then other like geotechnical engineering subject wise. Okay, do it subject wise only. Okay, anyway, while question will be asked in exam, it will be mixed up, but you prepare yourself subject wise, because when you prepare yourself subject wise, then you remember which thing I know in this subject and which thing I don't know. Okay, so there are many concepts in structural analysis, from hinges, arches, to beams, to your influence line diagram and load diagram, bending moment, shear force, to the framed structure, to trusses. Okay, then you have your moment distribution methods, Kani's method, then you have your slope deflection method, then you have your force based method, which are like consistent deformation method. So there are many concepts. Okay, a conjugate beam method. There are many methods. So you have to think like what I know, because if you do a comprehensive, means if you do everything together, you won't remember which you know and which you don't know. When you do it subject wise, you will remember what you know and what you don't know, till where you have completed and what you have to do more. Okay, and you will find some new questions, but I am sure that if you prepare a question bank of around 3000 plus questions, I am pretty sure some 30 to 40% questions you will see there again in the exam, in that state exam. And also you can take help of other state this pwd exams. So other state, as I told, like Delhi or Rajasthan or Kerala or Maharashtra or West Bengal, they also conduct their own. Sometimes they also take through gate, but they also conduct through their own. So in that case, what you can do, you can take help from those. Okay, so in today's session, all in all, I mostly covered the gate part because I myself have appeared in it. So I think that is more important, because if you are able to qualify gate with a good rank and good gate score, it opens lot many doors for you. Okay, it opens doors for you for service, for jobs. It opens doors for you research. Okay, one thing I think I missed here in the gate thing, so I will add one more thing here, that MS. So even IITs are offering master in science. Okay, so MS courses also in same structure, geotech, everywhere. Okay, wherever MTech is there, MS is also there. But so MS is also like 2 year program with same fellowship of 12,400 per month, but it is a research. Okay, it's a research based program. MTech is more of a course based, but MS is more research oriented, and in that you can get in the same range as this NITs. So whatever range I have told for NITs, you can have same range of rank to get admission in MS in IITs, in older or new IITs. And for MS, I think the gate score should be more than 600. I don't think 550. It will be more than 600 or 650. You are eligible only if you have a gate score of more than 650 or 600, like that. Okay, then only you are eligible. Okay, but you can appear for MS also. So that is also one of the degree here available in IIT. So mostly it is 2 years, but it can be extended to one semester more, that is 2.5 years. And the stipend will be available till 2 years, 12,400. And you have, it is a basically a research based program. Okay, so mostly people do MS before PhD also. Okay, so that is there. So I hope you got some idea from here, how to prepare and all. I'll request sir to, if we'll have some other session, I'll go more on the structures part of gate. So in that, how to prepare for structures, because there are many things. So we can see what concepts are there which are frequently asked in structure including RCC, steel, and engineering mechanics and solid mechanics and structural analysis. So thank you from my side.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you for that insight on how to prepare for competitive exams, especially on GATE. So, students, do you anybody have any questions? Sir, from the classroom, and one student they have a question. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has a
sure.
question.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So they are in the third year now, and
Okay, sir.
they are eligible to appear for the GATE.
Okay.
Also, they are preparing for that,
Okay.
and they wanted to focus on they whether they wanted to join for the coaching institute or self preparation. So,
Okay.
few students are asking the questions like that.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So if there are obviously that is also a good question. So it is like that. There are two ways. So if they are right now in the, they will be completing their third year by, I think, this June, and they will be coming to final year in the next semester, I hope.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
yeah. So if they are coming for this for final year and they are eligible also, obviously they are eligible for gate. So obviously there remains two options. Either if you are suppose in Chennai or nearby place where a good coaching is available, and if you think that you can go and afford it, if you can go and afford it, that will be good. It will be good, and that will also give you a boost to prepare for gate. Okay, so that you can do. But what happens, most of the people, it is not available. First of all, constraint of time because of the college. Second is the constraint of how far you have to go to the coaching. That is also a constraint, because if somebody is living in the outskirts of the Chennai and he has to come somewhere inside the Chennai, then it is also issue. Then third is the constraint of funds. No, it's not like everybody could have fund that also. So if you are having proper funds, if you can manage it, and if you are very positive to appear for gate, you should go. And if you think, if any student think that he has fun time and he can manage it, so he should go for that. Even if he has decided that I'll appear for grade next year positively and get a good rank, so he should go. Okay, but my answer will be more towards for those who can't go. Okay, so there are certain students who have constraint of funds, they will have constraint of time with their college timing and where they are living, so it will be far for them. For that case, what I also now it is my story. So what I had done in my time, so in my third year itself, I have ordered a called something called distance learning package. So the good coachings, which are top coachings in India, mostly Delhi based. So like you have Made Easy, or you have uh, IES Master. So these types of coachings are there. So these coachings offer their distance learning packages. So basically, what they do, they send their material, the written material, which is made in a sense which will be beneficial for the student only for preparing for those exams. Okay, so suppose somebody is taking for gate,
Hello, hello.
so somebody is preparing for gate, so it will be for gate, or somebody is preparing for engineering services, so it will be for that. So those type of materials will be very helpful, I think, because that material will help you even in making your notes. So what you can do, I remember at my time the cost was around 10,000, around 10,000. So in 10,000 you can get full material of civil engineering, all the courses. And obviously, please, before taking for any coaching, please concern any senior of yours or any other person who has taken the same material. Please don't buy it once. Just try to have some words with some senior or someone who has already taken, because those materials, I'm pretty sure, will be very helpful for those who are self motivated. Means they can do a self preparation very easily, because things are very properly written in there, and they are made in a manner that people can understand, or student can understand with himself. Who is a college going student will obviously will understand, because he has he has learned those concepts very recently in college. So the point is, you can buy those things, but you have to first check with someone who has already bought and see what is the quality, because sometimes quality varies between the coaching institutes. Okay, so one coaching institute could have one quality, the other could have other quality, so that is important. So if you buy those, with that you will get more number of questions, and they also sometimes send the question banks. So they will send some question banks, and you can solve those questions also. And those questions are sometimes prepared by the faculty of those coachings only. So the faculty is there, they prepare those questions. So though for those students who have these constraint of fund, constraint of time, constraint of going at the coaching, they can order this postal material at their home, online postal material. It will come to their home, and from there they can prepare their notes and even prepare for the exam. But what most important remains, that just before 1 or 2 months before the gate exam, you please buy a online test series. Very very important it is, you buy a online test series. It will have tests specific for subjects like structural engineering, steel engineering, steel structure analysis, steel, RCC, specific subject wise. 30, 30, 50 questions will be there, and multiple number of tests, like one will be beginner, then one will be medium, one will be higher, like that. And then you will have questions, papers which are mock paper, like full 3 hour gate paper. So those will be there. So this will help in two ways: preparing a particular subject in a way, and also preparing the full exam. And then also you will come to know that which concepts, which subjects you know very well. You, because suppose one subject, somebody is very good in environmental engineering, so he will see that, because when he will appear in that online test series, he will score very nicely, very good he will score. So, and also they give you, because most of these students in coachings also appear by these same test series. Even I will say all over the India students buy. So you will get a analysis also where you uh, which question you did wrong, which question you took most time, which question was easier but you could not do, which questions was very tough but you could do, others could not do. It will give you full analysis of those types of things, and which is very important for us, because that's how we will able to know where we are good and where we are not, and where we have to improve. So for this I would suggest, if material, somebody is taking a postal material from good coachings, as I told, IES master, made easy, just before buying you just look for someone who has already bought and have a word with them. But I would say that test series is must. Test series will be the final thing which will make you crack the exam. So I would suggest that is the way for this.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you for
yeah,
your.
yeah. So I thank sir for arranging this session, and I hope like we can have some more session on specifically on structures, so we can discuss more about what topics are there. So I gave you a small example which question was repeated in my time. So like that I can quote some examples. I can show you like how same question is being repeated for some exams like gate, especially for gate, like for 2 3 years. So that we can do, and then how intuitive questions are asked, that also.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. We'll
Yeah,
plan for that.
yeah,
So, so I'd like to thank our SVC management and our department HOD for allowing us to conduct this guest lecture on preparation, competitive exam preparation strategies. So I thank all our participants and our faculty members for their active participation. So thank you once again, and thank you, sir.
yeah. Thank you
Thank you,
for
sir.
HOD
Thank you,
ma'am
sir.
for giving me this opportunity, and thanks for all students to listening very patiently. Thank you, and thank you sir for your effort. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.